Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. I hope everyone is doing good. Glad to have you guys here for another update, my friends. We got ourselves a little bit of severe weather yet again in the future coming up here. But before we go ahead and get on into that, let's go ahead and jump on into things here. What's up guys? Hope everyone's doing well. Let's see who we got here today. We got Paxton. Is that Crystal? I think that might be Crystal. Well, what's up? Hope you're doing good. We have Mark. We have, let's see here, Abby. We have Binksy. We have Tom. We have Polly. We have Kermit. What's up, guys? Of course, everybody else who is here as well, but just not chatting. Hope everyone's doing good. You know, it's good to have you guys here. So, we got ourselves a few things we do need to talk about in today's stream. Let's see here. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about severe weather because we do have a bit of severe weather coming up. Also, a little bit of a wintry storm is expected here too. So we'll talk about that as well. Let's see. A bit of a wintry storm, bit of severe weather and whatnot. So we'll get into all that here in a moment. But anyways, what's up, guys? Let's see. Polly says, how am I doing? I'm doing good. Hopefully you're doing good as well. Good to have you here. What's up, Abby? Hope you're doing good. Let's see. It's you, Crystal. Okay. Yeah. See, I wasn't sure. Honestly, the whole profile picture change and the whole name change threw me off a little bit. But anyways, folks, well, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on right now. So obviously, we just had that big old severe storm. By the way, hopefully you guys are doing okay after that. We did have a little bit of nastiness, you know, with that set of storms that rolled through. The good news about that is that that storm system is just pretty much done. You know, it is pretty much out of the country, or it is at this point for the most part. We do have ourselves another little area, though, that's starting to spin up a little bit. This is going to actually be the driver of more severe weather as we work our way down in time. So this area of low pressure will work its way here to the east, which will actually drive a little bit of a severe weather concern for Saturday. Saturday is going to be the day that we definitely need to look out there for. So we'll definitely be sure to be looking out there for that. So, and on the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center's discussion that we were looking at earlier, they did mention the possibility that there could be a concern for tornadic activity, which we're going to have to see. It does look like it is going to be quite possible. And I do think that there could be some more problems with that as well in terms of like damaging winds and maybe even some hail and whatnot. I think we're going to have to look out there for it as well. But anyways, so, I mean, this is basically a current look. Also, we do have a bit of a snowstorm that's starting to develop here, too. Right now, across portions of Nebraska, Iowa, portions of South Dakota. A little bit of snow going on, and we'll get into those accumulations here as well. But anyways, what's up, Sam? Hope you're doing good. See, Polly says the wind here in Texas, very bad. And, honestly, the winds have been pretty wild for a lot of people. That whole storm system that rolled through that thing really kicked up some winds, that's for sure. What's up, Braven? Saying, hey, Andrew and everyone. Don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate that, Braven. Anyways, folks, all right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and bring over the SPC for you guys. We're going to talk severe weather concern here. We're going to look at the active threats that we do have. So, for today, we're going to start off here with today. We don't have any severe weather today per se, which is good news. So for the rest of the day, a little bit of a threat for thunderstorms in the upper elevations of the western coast, but really not a lot of anything crazy going on today, which is definitely good news, except for that snow that's popping off. But severe weather, nothing like that. Friday. So tomorrow, for portions of like Texas out there by like Dallas, Fort Worth area, a couple thunderstorms possible. Same thing out there by portions of like Arizona, New Mexico. We could get a little bit of storm activity out here for Friday, but yeah, really nothing severe. But then we work our way into Saturday. So Saturday is actually going to be the day we need to look out for. As you can kind of see, we do have this level 1 threat for severe weather. Now, despite it being a level 1 threat, you guys still got to remember that it is still an active severe weather threat, even if it is a lower end threat. So there's going to still be possibility for damaging storms, here coming up for Saturday, which we're going to do a little bit more of a breakdown here in the models here soon on the stream here today. We'll definitely do a little bit of a breakdown there for you guys. But, Saturday we got to look out there for severe weather. So just a little bit of a special heads up to my folks out there. That's a big pin. I need to make that size a little smaller there. So for eastern Texas, Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and Panhandle, Florida. We do got ourselves a risk here for severe weather overall. Let's see here. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we're getting close to 30K. We are close. I think we'll hit it this spring for sure. Polly says that for Saturday. Yes. This is going to be for Saturday. Or the 8th. So that's that. Once again, portions of Texas, eastern Texas is going to be in the risk here. Pretty much all of Louisiana, to be honest with you. I mean, there's 99.8% of the state is inside of that marginal risk there. Once again, southern Mississippi, including like Gulfport area here and, southern Alabama, towards like Mobile, will be in that risk there as well. And also Panhandle, Florida, like we mentioned, we'll also have that risk. So the discussion that let's see here. There will be a conditional threat for tornado. Tornadoes will be possible, I do believe, for Saturday. There will be that potential for maybe a tornado or two. Do I think it's going to be anything significant? Definitely not like what we saw with those last events here. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. It seems like we're really lacking those lower level winds, which we'll get into here when we do more of a deep dive into the models and stuff. But to be quite honest with you guys, I really don't think it's going to be anything like super wild. If we did get tornadoes, they would likely be brief and weak. So that's good news. That's the good news out of it. Now, also one of the main concerns on this here is actually going to be mostly just some strong winds, some gusty winds, possibility of some damaging wind gusts, right around 60 miles an hour or so will be possible for much, if not all of the area here that's listed. That's going to be the main issue. And tomorrow we'll have much more of a better breakdown here, because we'll actually have the Storm Prediction Center's probability breakdown for the tornado, the wind, and the hail threat, specifically. So we'll have all that together for tomorrow. But for right now, that's that. Now, in the extended range, here for Sunday, we got potential too low. So basically just no shot for really any severe weather. Monday, same thing. Tuesday, same thing. Wednesday, predictability is too low. Doesn't mean that we will see severe weather. It just means it's pretty much a little bit too hard to tell at the moment. That's for Wednesday, and same thing for Thursday. So it's just a little too far to tell. But honestly, nothing as of right now in the extended range. Really, all severe weather-wise we need to look out for is going to be for Saturday. Just Saturday kind of being that main day overall. And then, like we mentioned, if you look here at the current satellite and whatnot, current radar, you guys can actually see that storm system. We'll go ahead and overlay the jet stream here. But you guys can kind of see this little dip in the trough here. Sorry, a little bit of a dip in the jet stream here. That is our trough that we do have that is, starting to kind of kick up here. And like I mentioned, this is actually going to be that threat. This is actually going to be that storm that does drive that severe weather threat. As this guy rolls to the east here, eventually it'll start picking up a little bit of moisture from the Gulf and, start making things once again in the south relatively humid, and whatnot, which will, give us a little bit of a risk there for severe weather. But you can obviously see where that trough was of the last storm system we just had here. That was quite a storm. I'm not gonna lie, that was quite a storm. A lot of you folks out there got some strong winds out of that. Not just on the line of storms either, not just on that line of storms, but literally just the winds around it is pretty crazy as well. We had some just really strong winds from that low. Just considering how strong that low pressure was, it was pretty wild. But anyway, so yeah, that's that. Now let's go ahead and hop over the models. We're gonna dive into the models here. We're gonna do a bit of a look here. Let's go ahead and load this up. So this is the GFS, my friends here. This is the American GFS model. So like we mentioned, we'll get more into the winter side of things here soon. There is a bit of a winter storm going on right now, which we'll get into. Just a little clipper for the most part. Nothing super crazy. It's not going to last too long. But yeah, you can see that we start to pick up a lot of precipitation in the south right around March 9th, which let me go ahead and actually just do this. This will make it easier. There we go. Yeah, so right around March 9th or so, you can start to see that we do pick up some precipitation, and all that storm activity is going to start rolling to the deep south here. Right around the pretty much the 8th going into the 9th and whatnot. Have I gotten enough sleep? I have, although I am tired. I woke up at I think 6, 7 a.m. this morning, so a little tired, but anyways, yeah, so we'll see that. We'll definitely keep an eye out there for that. We'll keep you guys posted on everything. Another thing is that the west. Kind of shifting things to the western coast here. We do have another storm system here that is going to impact the west coast. Right around the 12th and the 13th. That's starting to push it a little bit. You guys know me. I don't like to look too far out. But there's been some consistency here. As you can see, the last several model runs have been supporting this storm system here. So this has been there for a while. So we're going to have a storm system here right around the 12th and 13th impact the west coast, which will likely drive a pretty good amount of rainfall for a lot of those lower elevations here. And for the upper elevations, could see some really heavy snowfall out of that. So, for those upper elevations in California, just, get ready, because there's going to be another line of, nasty snow and a lot of rain and whatnot to come through. It's still a little early, obviously, for accumulations, being about a week out or so. But like I mentioned, confidence is high. It's actually very high because of the fact that, this has been very consistent in the models here. So that's that. Maybe as that thing tracks eastward, it could become some type of problem for the central country. We'll have to see. Wouldn't surprise me. Given the fact that it is March now, which March usually has some pretty strong storms. That's usually whenever nature starts to really pick back up in terms of strength and whatnot. But you know what? That is possible. Last several model runs you can see of the GFS, for run after run after run, show that system there. So that's been there for a little bit. So it's a bit in the long range, of course. It's a bit far out for the most part, but just keep an eye on it. There might be another storm system to roll through, kind of right around mid-March, which could drive all kinds of sorts of issues and stuff. Possibly. It's obviously too early to be specific, but, could have some similar impacts to the last storm system that we had. Possible snow, a bit of severe weather maybe. We'll just have to see. But that's enough of that. Let me actually look at the Euro real quickly. We'll compare this to the European model real fast, the 12 Zulu here. Which Euro, yeah, look at that. So Euro actually agrees fairly well with the GFS here, showing right around the 14th or so, 15th maybe. Once again, it's a little bit far out. I don't like to look too far, but since there's continuous agreement here on the models, not just one model, but different models and several model runs, that gives us a bit of confidence, and that gives us a bit of confidence in our forecast. But remember, things can still change. They still can, but the general outcome is that, we will likely have another storm system to roll through for right around mid-March. So we will definitely look out for that. We'll definitely keep you guys updated on everything. But like I mentioned, really the main problem right now, the main thing that we need to just kind of really pay attention to, once again, is going to be on Saturday. That's kind of our main threat as of right now. So that's for Saturday. That's going to be on the 8th here, and so in 2 days. Once again, just a bit of a heads up for folks who have been like eastern Texas, Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and portions of like the western panhandle here of Florida, as there is going to be that shot for there for a little bit of severe weather. So we'll keep you guys updated on that too, and we'll keep you all posted for anything that changes, because there could still be some changes in the forecast, of course, but the thing is, though, is that Saturday's not too far away, it's only 2 days from now, and today's pretty much over with, so it's within reach. It's well within reach of kind of getting an idea. So we're going to do a bit more of a breakdown in the models now, guys. We're going to kind of break down the main components that drive severe weather. So for the people who don't really know, there's really technically four really main ingredients you need for severe weather. But we're only going to talk about the three because the fourth one's already going to be in place. So for severe weather, you need a source of lift, which is how you get the warm air off the ground and up into the atmosphere. You need wind shear, you need instability, and you need moisture. Those are like the main things you need for severe weather and whatnot. So looking at the instability first. So this is basically just the thunderstorm fuel, the amount of energy, potential energy and just fuel in the atmosphere for storms. And you can kind of tell, once we work our way over here into late Saturday, we start to build up a little bit of instability. Now, some of that's actually capped out, which that could be, if that doesn't break, that could be something that could prevent some of those storms, which we'll have to look into. But yeah, we do start to build up some instability here right around the afternoon, evening of Saturday, which you can see, this is just the fuel for storms, to allow for some thunderstorm activity, perhaps severe weather and whatnot. We'll have to see, but there is that threat. There is that threat. Now, overlaying everything, so that's where our instability is at. Looking at our lower level winds, this is very important for like tornadoes and stuff. It looks like, so we do have a little bit of a low right here towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area here at this time frame for late Saturday, according to NAM. This will be kicking up a little bit of lower level winds, which could allow for maybe a little bit of a tornado threat. I do believe between the state of Texas and Louisiana, there could be maybe a little bit of a tornado threat on the western side of that risk area. I think it's going to be possible. Just given the fact that we do have some, not strong by any means, but we do have some lower level winds there from a little low here, which, could kick up maybe 25, 30 knots worth of lower level winds, which isn't really anything super crazy. So once again, that could contribute to maybe just a little bit of weak, relatively brief tornadic activity, being possible. I think between eastern Texas and Louisiana. So that's that. I think it's going to be possible. Now, our mid-level winds, though, on the other hand, they're actually pretty strong. So our mid-level jet stream is actually pretty fast moving, We're talking like 75 knots for the most part, 60, 70 knots or so, so our mid-level winds are actually really strong. And what that can do to storms is it can allow for storms to be relatively decently organized. So making sure that your intake, your warm air that's getting sucked up into the storm is nice and separated from the air that's going out of the storm. So, similar to an engine, you have an intake and an exhaust. Except in a storm, it intakes warm air, and the exhaust is cooler air that comes out. So the winds kind of help separate that per se. keeping that warm air coming in away from that cold air that's going out. And sometimes if you have weak winds, that'll just allow for the storm to just, for the exhaust to just fall right on top of the warm air coming in, which just kills out the storm essentially. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah. So that's gonna be good. That'll at least allow for maybe some decent organization of storms to occur. But like we mentioned, the thing is though, our lower level winds are really not anything super crazy as of now. Maybe 25, 30 knots. Once again, it's not the only thing that contributes to tornadoes, of course, but it helps. And there could be perhaps a spin up or two being possible. Like I mentioned, I believe that's going to be most likely on the western side of the risk area. So for portions like eastern Texas and like Louisiana, I think you guys are probably going to be doing that. No way. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, you guys are not going to believe this. You guys are not going to believe this. Proxy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm lost for words right now. I am about... Dude. Proxy's here, okay? Proxy just came in with a massive, massive donation of a whopping $250 to the channel. Are you serious, dude? Proxy! $250. You did not have to do that. That is like a lot of money, dude. Proxy, thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, it's so good to see you. I hope you're doing good. Everybody in chat, please, if you can, give Proxy a huge thank you for that. I can't believe that, man. Proxy coming in with a $250 donation, dude. Saying, thanks for all your hard work, Andrew. Continued success with your channel. Keep growing, Proxy. Dude, holy cow, man. Proxy, thank you so much for your support. As always, thank you. Dude, I can't believe that. That is, like, really generous of you, Prox. Wow. Dude, that is super generous. And that'll help out a ton. As you know, I lost my computer, and I just recently rebuilt it. That will definitely help go towards that. So thank you, Prox. Seriously. Holy cow, dude. Wow. Prox, as you know, typically if there's anything I can do to help out, if there's anything I can do for you, if you want a specific forecast, specific anything, just please let me know. I'll be more than happy to help. It's the least I could do after that, dude. Wow. Wow. That is just unbelievable. Proxy, you're seriously amazing. Thank you so much for your support. I'm probably gonna say thank you a million more times, but I just want to say thank you. Seriously, wow. That is greatly appreciated. Once again, Proxy, thank you so much. Deeply appreciate it. And thank you guys for the people who have thanked Proxy. I appreciate that as well. Anyways, once again, Prox, thank you so much. But from what I was talking about here, I kind of lost track. Seriously, though. Proxy, thank you so much. So, like we were talking about, Louisiana, eastern Texas, I do think there could be the threat for maybe an isolated tornado or two, being possible. Like I mentioned, we don't really have that strong of winds in our atmosphere. We do have a little bit of a lower level jet of maybe around 25, 30 knots. That's just one model, too, to look at. It's not the only thing that contributes to tornadic activity, but it definitely helps quite a bit overall. So that is that. That is that overall. Spencer, thank you so much, dude, for 6 months of Category 1 support. I appreciate that, Spencer. Thank you so much, dude. Huge shout out goes to you, Spencer. Thank you, guys, seriously, for all your support. Huge shout out goes to Proxy, Spencer. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you. Hey, man, you guys help keep us rolling. You really do, and I'm very thankful for y'all, so thank you. Let's see. Proxy says, if I get a moment, any news for Northeast Ohio? Gotcha. Okay, so let me pull that up real quickly. Let me pull that up. Thank you, guys. Seriously, I really do appreciate y'all very much. Seriously, you guys really do help make this possible, and super thankful for y'all. Once again, Proxy, thank you so much. Okay, so procs for you. Let's see. I don't think there's really anything super wild. So there's a little bit of a winter system that I'm keeping an eye out there for. It's actually starting to kick off now. If we look at the current radar, you can actually see we are starting to get a little bit of activity up here towards the Central Plains and like the upper Midwest here. We're starting to get a little bit of snow actually falling through. Now, the good news, Prox, I know how much you love your snow. The good news is that a lot of that's going to pretty much die out as it approaches the Ohio Valley, which is definitely good news in your case. I know how much you love your snow, but there will still possibly be, maybe a little bit of snow here as we approach our way into tomorrow evening. Definitely looks possible overall, so keep that in mind. There might be a little bit of snowfall. Honestly, probably not going to be anything super wild overall. But let me go ahead and bring up this accumulation map here for you guys too. We'll also look at the amount of snowfall we can see total. So this is the official forecast from the Weather Service over the next 48 hours. So this is how much snow we are expecting. Now, believe it or not, there is actually some areas out there by like Nebraska and like southern Kansas that's going to be in for a fair amount of snowfall. We're talking 6+ inches in some spots, but anyways, let's see here. So proxy for you, honestly, you're really not going to be picking up much. You'd be lucky if you get a trace or so, which from what I remember, I don't think you like your snow too much. There's a lot of people that like it, a lot of people that don't, but I'm pretty sure you didn't like your snow. But regardless, yeah, there's not going to be a lot out there, which is good. Now, for some folks up there towards like New York State, central New York State, we could pick up, upwards of 3 to 5 inches, locally higher, over the next 2 days or so. A little bit up there towards northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, a bit of Maine. But like we mentioned, the most of that snow, though, actually there's going to be a decent amount, of snowfall for areas out there by like Nebraska. We might even be pushing near a foot. Possibly, in some localized areas in like northern Nebraska, it is going to be possible. You can see for the northern state, there's at least 6 to 10 inches, in that range there. So, it's going to be a fair amount, it's going to be a fair amount of snowfall, for some of those folks out there. So that's that. But honestly, Prox, to be honest, you're looking pretty good. You are looking pretty good. Now the winds in the next 24 hours or so, for you, Proxy, you're good, but a lot of the Northeast guys, a lot of you folks up there in the Northeast have been dealing with a lot of really strong winds as that storm system does kind of roll through overall. Within the next 24 hours here, we're going to have some pretty strong winds out there, up there by, coastal New England especially. 40, 50 mile an hour wind gusts, locally higher, especially for some of those upper elevations out there could be definitely quite significant, possibly 60 or 70 miles an hour more, for some of those upper elevations out there. Including like Mount Washington, could really see quite some strong winds. You guys up there and towards Mount Washington's really not, anything new. But with this system, there's definitely going to be that potential out there. Proxy, you're very welcome. And thank you once again so much for that support. That is amazing, Prox. That is just, wow. I still can't get over that. I really appreciate you, Prox. Thank you so much once again. And if there's anything anything else I can do for you, Proxy, I'm here for you. I really appreciate that. Abby says the winds are really bad. Yeah, I remember you saying that. It's definitely pretty windy out there, and that's gonna continue for a little bit here. If we hop back here and I show you guys the pressure, so you guys can actually see just how much that pressure drops. Let's go ahead and let's see. We're going to, my brain's not braining right now. Hold on a minute. Here we go. Subregional. That's why it's not working. Here we go. Okay, so let's go up to the Northeast here. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but you all see these lines. We call these isobars. Basically represent an area of equal pressure, right? So for example, this is 1,000 HPA, 1,002, 1,004. So pressure's increasing the further west we go. And it's dropping the more east we go. So that's contributing to all these winds, and that's actually why we are getting such strong winds right now, is because of the fact just how quickly that pressure changes, over a short distance. For example, I mean, this right here, this is not that far of a distance, and it drops 2 millibars or 2 HPA, same equivalent. That's not that far of a distance for quite a decent pressure drop. So since the pressure is dropping so quickly with a short distance, it's allowing for the flow from higher pressure to lower pressure to be stronger, which increases your flow, and that flow being those winds that you are seeing. So because of how much the pressure is changing, since higher pressure is building in now, that low pressure system we just had, that storm system is rolling through, this higher pressure is building in to the region and is, kind of pushing that system out. But while it's doing that, it's also causing strong winds, in the equivalent. But think of it as it's just pushing that storm away, even though if it's causing a bit of problems itself, essentially. Let's see here. Mo says, I'm going to be driving from Houston to Pensacola Saturday, hoping, or here's to hoping I can be in front of any bad weather. I agree. And so Saturday is going to be that day of severe weather. And since you're traveling from Houston to Pensacola, your whole route is going to be pretty much in that severe weather risk, as you can see. So the good news about this is that it is a level 1 threat. It is a level 1 severe weather threat. It doesn't mean that you should ignore it. It's still an active risk for severe storms and potential damaging storms. Yes, that is still a possibility, of course. Even on a level 1 threat, even though it's the lowest of the scale, it's still an active threat. It's still there for a reason, okay? So, traveling from Houston, obviously, through into, to Pensacola, you're going to be going through a lot of that marginal risk here, which, we'll have to see how it plays out. We cannot rule out any upgrades. I'm not saying it will, but we'll have to just see how this plays out. The good news on it, though, like I mentioned, while I do believe there could be some tornadoes for mostly some of the areas out by Louisiana and Texas, it's with that strong, not strong, but that's where we have those lower level winds that could support tornadic activity. Would likely be mostly between Louisiana and Texas. I think that's mostly where that tornado threat's going to be. Some of these eastern areas probably more towards the wind threat. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what SPC does, but to be honest, I think a lot of the main problem is going to be just like gusty winds out of some of those storms there. Perhaps some damaging wind gusts, 60 miles an hour, maybe slightly larger. Can't be ruled out either. But yeah, most of those winds are going to be probably right. Wind gusts are going to be up to right around 60 miles an hour or so. So keep an eye on it. Definitely keep an eye on it, and we'll definitely keep you posted, and I'll keep giving you guys updates on that. So I don't know if any of you saw my post I put on the community page here. So here's our new plan. There's going to be some days where this doesn't play out, but for most of the days from here on out, I'm going to try making a video every day. Okay, we're going to start putting up a video every day, sometime in the morning, afternoon, just depends on when I get up, when I get going, how long it takes me to record, how long it takes me to edit and upload and stuff like that. So I'm not setting a set time because that would be pretty stressful to make sure I meet the deadline. Just sometime every day between morning and afternoon, I'll have a video up for you guys. And then, of course, around the evening time, I could be a little bit more specific with the evening. Sometime right around maybe 8 or 9 o'clock, like tonight, basically. Just go live for you guys. No specific set time. But I'm going to try streaming and making a video every day. Once again, there's going to be some days where I don't, just because I do need some days off myself. At least most days I'm going to do videos and live streams. And there could be some days with just live streams, no videos, and vice versa. But that's the new plan. That's the new plan I'm going to start doing here. JT says, thanks for all your help and information. No problem. You're very, very welcome. I'm definitely glad to help. See, no thanks. I'll give it all to Nebraska. Yeah, Nebraska's going to get a pretty good amount of snowfall. Like we mentioned, some folks out there could be seeing, what was it, like 6 to 10 inches or so. That's pretty good. It's pretty good amount of snow. I mean, it's not the end of the world or anything like that. It's not the end of the world, trust me. But yeah, there will be a good amount of snow. A little bit of early March snowfall, Central Plains activity. Mostly northern Nebraska, and the forecast has, good 6 to 10 inches or so. As long as you don't overextend yourself, Andrew. Yeah, and I get that, and that's why I'm going to take some days to myself every once in a while, too. I'm just mostly going to be doing, most days I'm going to be doing videos and live streams, just so we can keep the word out there. Even if there's nothing going on, I'll just make sure to maybe throw up a quick 5-minute video just to be like, okay, there's nothing really happening right now, but this could happen in the future, or blah, 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 vice versa, whatever. We'll definitely... We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Can I please do Crestview, Florida? Yeah, I mean, I can look at Crestview, but there's really not a lot going on in Crestview right now. Florida in general. One thing I will say, though, before we do that, so like I mentioned, we have that severe weather going on here for Saturday. So Saturday is going to be the day we need to look out for. So some of that instability could linger into Florida. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be a severe weather threat for Florida at all. I mean, there is a risk for the panhandle of Florida on Saturday, but some of that leftover instability could work its way into Florida here for pretty much Sunday, going into Monday, could maybe drive some storm activity. We'll see, how it's going to play out. I mean, obviously, there's still a little bit of time here, but so that kind of applies for you. If I look at Crestview, I'm not entirely sure which part Crestview's in. Let me see real quickly. Crestview, Florida. Okay, so yeah, you're in Panhandle, Florida. Gotcha. So yeah, you're actually in that risk as of now. So you're in that level 1 threat. One of the things I will say for you, Elijah, honestly, one of the main things I will say is, like I mentioned beforehand, I think there could be some tornadoes, of course. I don't think mostly for your area. I think that's going to be more west of you. But I do believe tornadoes will be a possible concern, of course, for Saturday. Storm Prediction Center also mentioned that as well. So, like eastern Texas, like Louisiana, a brief, isolated, quick tornado could occur. Okay, possibly relatively on the lower end as well, like I mentioned. And the reason that's going to be, I believe, mostly to the west is because, like I mentioned, we do have this area of low pressure, just a little micro low that kicks off, towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Has a little bit of a northerly lower level winds, a little bit of lower level winds kicking up here, which, could allow for, once again, maybe perhaps a tornado or two, being possible. Not really anything super crazy. It's not like a strong lower level jet like we had in this last storm system. No. While it's going to be weak, it's not going to be anything significant per se, I don't think. Definitely won't, at least as of now. Unless something serious changes, that's not really in the picture. But once again, for you specifically, though, I think out here in the Panhandle, Florida, main thing we got to look out for is probably just going to be some gusty winds, to be honest. Maybe some wind gusts, 60 miles an hour up to, could be possible. We'll have a better understanding tomorrow whenever we have the actual breakdown from SPC. So, what's up, Jazz? Hope you're doing good. Welcome. Let's see here. Not tomorrow, the day of storm. No, this is Saturday. So from eastern Texas to Panhandle, Florida, this is going to be a risk for severe weather on Saturday. And like I mentioned, I know it's a level 1 threat. It's a lower end severe weather risk, but like I mentioned, it still is a risk for damaging storms. And it covers a decent amount of area, So we'll definitely need to look out for that. And once again, I really think that that tornado threat will be mostly out there by like eastern Texas and like Louisiana and whatnot. So that's that. Anyways, let's see here. Nation says, well, I have no idea how you pronounce it. I'm just going to copy what that town is and I'm going to paste it. So you are so you're kind of in northeast Texas. Let me overlay the I can't navigate, of course. Let's see here. Okay, so you can see this is where you're at right now. So that's your area. So you are in the threat. Yeah, you are in that level 1 severe weather threat. So, while it is still low and obviously the probability of you seeing severe weather is still going to be very, very low. We can't rule it out. Okay, so I would keep an eye on Saturday. Just see how it plays out, see how things update. We'll see if there's any updates, any big changes or anything like that. But as of now, yes, you are in that active threat. Even though it's a level 1, it's still a risk that we should still keep an eye out there for. Is Ohio going to see warmer weather? Yes. Ohio will definitely start to pick up a bit more warmer conditions and stuff in the future, for sure. It's just temporarily cold because we had that storm system roll through, and it's brought down some more cooler air from up north, but that'll eventually roll out soon. Let's see. What time around Saturday? Mo, honestly, it's probably going to be sometime in the afternoon, evening. Still too hard to tell, like, exactly what time, because we're still a little bit, still a few days out. And, of course, timing at this point is still a little iffy. But sometime in the afternoon, evening, more than likely. What's up, Samuel? Hope you're doing good. Is tomorrow clear for Texas? Yes. Yeah, tomorrow's good in Texas. Nothing really crazy. So like I mentioned, Saturday is going to be the day we need to look out for. Tomorrow, I will say this, though. So for portions out in Texas, for Dallas-Fort Worth area, you guys can see. So there's a light green shade. That's no severe weather risk. But what that does mean is that there is possibilities for thunderstorms. So tomorrow, yes, you could see some storms. There could be some thunderstorms, but we're not expecting any severe thunderstorms to occur. No damaging storms tomorrow is expected. Although a couple storms are possible, but it's not until Saturday where we have that dark green area. That's where the first threat, or the level 1 severe weather threat begins. And once again, the light green here up top just kind of shows you, a few thunderstorms are possible. I mean, it could storm up there in Oklahoma for Saturday, but we're not expecting severe weather in Oklahoma. Meanwhile, the dark green, in eastern Texas to Panhandle, Florida, we could see some strong to potentially severe storms, of course, being possible. And once again, I do think that it's going to be mostly a wind threat. And on the western side of the threat, for the most part, I think mostly between, from what I'm seeing now anyways, mostly between eastern Texas and Louisiana. I think that's going to be your tornado threat. Once again, it's not going to be some crazy outbreak or anything like that. It's just going to be the possibility for maybe an isolated tornado or two. Relatively weak, relatively brief, more than likely, if they did occur. So anyways, let's see. Moses, thanks again, Andrew. No problem. You're very, very welcome. Polly, you're welcome as well. Paxton, or Crystal, you're welcome as well. You guys are very welcome. I'm glad to help you guys out. So, but yeah, anyways. So we'll keep you posted. We'll definitely keep you guys updated on that. Let's go ahead and hop our way back to the winter weather side of things real quickly. So, I know it's March. We're finally getting closer to spring, but, nature's not quite giving up yet. So we do have a little bit of a storm, like we mentioned here, coming through across the central country to the Midwest and whatnot. It's going to start to thin out, though, once we get towards the Ohio Valley. You can kind of see things start to, fade out a little bit. Although for the 7th, so tomorrow evening, there could be some snow up there towards the Ohio Valley. Don't be surprised if you see some snow throughout Ohio and, some other nearby states. But once again, for you folks, not going to really be anything crazy. However, for my folks up there towards like northern Nebraska, that's kind of where the heaviest of the event's going to be. We do have another little area of low pressure that's kicking off in the Central Plains currently. Just a little disturbance, a little clipper, snowstorm here coming through, which, once again, for northern Nebraska, we could see upwards of maybe 6 to 10 inches of snowfall, according to the official forecast from the Weather Service. So, it's a little bit, pretty good amount for you folks, but like I said, a lot of that's just going to relatively die out. That low is actually going to start weakening, and it's going to start to kind of lose its grip, which will, allow for the storm to kind of weaken a little bit, of course, and, prevent anything like super crazy from happening. So that's good. That's good. Yeah, it's mostly Nebraska that's going to look out there for that. So, and like I mentioned, for my folks up in Nebraska, here's our latest accumulation forecast from the Weather Service for the next 48 hours or the next 2 days. The next 2 days, in which you can see, some folks up there in the northern side, could see anywhere from 6 to 10 inches. Locally higher amounts could be possible. Some accumulations up to a foot at absolute max can't be ruled out either. For some of those heavier areas, but mostly, 6 to 10 inches or so for a lot of northern Nebraska. Out there by Iowa, we could pick up a little bit too. Maybe locally, upwards of 5 or 6 inches or so. Can't be ruled out either. So this is kind of how much I would expect as of right now. And it'll be a little windy out there too, 20, 30 mile an hour wind gusts. Nothing super damaging or crazy, though, which is good. But anyways, What's up, Kat? Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome. And then, of course, like I mentioned, guys, just a little bit of a far extended range outlook real quickly. We do need to keep an eye out there for mid-March because, like we mentioned here, I know this is a little far out, but there is a storm system right around March 14th and 15th. You guys know me if you've been here for a while. I do not like looking far out into models unless I see significant agreement. The last several model runs of GFS, you guys can actually see how the last several model runs have been constantly showing a storm system, towards the central country, Could drive some snow, could drive some severe weather. We'll have to see. Obviously, it's a little too early to tell, for sure. And obviously to, be specific, it's just too early right now. It is. But yeah, in the last several GFS model runs, it's there. Not just GFS, but also Euro too. If we hop back to the 12 Zulu run from earlier today, you can actually see that the ECMWF, or the European model as well, also supports the system. There's not much of differences between the Euro here and the GFS. You can see that they're both still somewhat relatively similar. So we'll watch for that. We'll keep that on the back burner though for now. We'll just keep that in the long range. It's nothing to worry about at the moment, but we'll just keep our eye out for it. And I'll keep an update on it every video live stream we do up until the point, of course. That's kind of the next real big system at the end of the tunnel that I kind of see could be something to look out for. But in the immediate concern, once again, Saturday is going to be the day that we need to just keep an eye out there for. Once again, with that severe weather possibility for these areas in the green. Once again out there by from eastern Texas, for most of Louisiana, through southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and of course, like I said, the Panhandle out there in Florida, could be quite possible there. So. Anyways. Let's see here. It stay in Nebraska. Yeah, probably will. There will be a little bit of snow out there by the Ohio Valley too. If we hop back to that, yeah, there will be a little bit. Especially for closer to the Great Lakes regions here. Locally an inch or so. That's nothing. That's nothing. It'll be gone soon too. Yeah, the Ohio Valley is not even really worth talking about, to be honest. It's just not that much. But, some folks out there by New York State, central New York State here, in the next 2 days, forecast from the Weather Service does have, 3 to 5 locally higher possible, which, is not the most snow in the world, but it's enough to cause impacts, and that's what matters, It's just looking out for that. But yeah, the really main problem with snowfall in the immediate future is Nebraska. Northern Nebraska, 6 to 10 inches or so is going to be possible, and everything. But anyways, so that's that. And to be honest, folks, I think we really talked about a lot of the active threat. So, bottom line, just a summary. We'll keep it out there for, like I said, we'll just keep it out there for the threat for Saturday. If it needs coverage, we'll do it, which as of now, I might do coverage. Saturday. I'm not going to promise anything right now, but I'll say it's possible. I will try to go live on, or if it becomes a problem, even more of a problem, yes, we'll definitely go live on the day of severe weather. We'll keep an eye on it. But regardless, just keep an eye on the weather for Saturday. From eastern Texas to Panhandle, Florida, a little bit of severe weather is expected. The main threat, damaging winds, and an isolated tornado or two can't be ruled out. And, we'll keep you guys updated on if anything changes. And tomorrow, of course, we'll have a much better idea of what to expect because we'll have the SPC breakdown. The Storm Prediction Center's outlook will go more in depth tomorrow as we'll have the exact potential probability for tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. So we'll definitely keep an eye out there for that. But anyways, folks, well, I appreciate y'all. If there's any final questions you guys might have in the chat before I roll off here, go ahead and tell me. Now would be the time to do that. And I just want to go ahead and say thank you, everybody, for joining. I really appreciate it. Proxy, massive shout out to you for the $250 donation. I still can't believe that, Prox. Thank you so much for your support, dude. That is amazing. Proxy, huge thank you. Once again, everybody in chat, if you could give Proxy a big thank you. Proxy really helped us out today, and just always in general. I'm really grateful for you, Prox, and thank you. Honestly, Proxy, you've helped us a lot, and you've helped keep me afloat, and this channel afloat for a while, and I really appreciate you. I really do. And so, yeah, please give Proxy a big thank you if you haven't already. But anyways, folks, we'll, like I said, kind of a last call for questions if y'all have any. If y'all want me to take a look at any specific thing, if you want me to look at, I don't know, Snowfall, winds, whatever, I'll do that real quickly before I roll off here. But if not, then we'll probably head off because, yeah, I mean, we pretty much talked about everything that we need to. Anything on New Orleans? Okay, so here's the thing here. Prox, we are, let's see here. We are going to see the possibility for storms towards New Orleans on Saturday. So you can see all of Louisiana is in the level 1 threat here overall. So we do have that level 1 threat for all Louisiana, which Proxy, this does include, your family. I think you said you have family out there. So as of now, the main threat we think is just going to be mostly just gusty winds, maybe some gusts up to 60 miles an hour or so. The discussion from the Storm Prediction Center did mention the possibility for an isolated tornado. It's possible. It is possible. So we are talking, like I said, we are talking the possibility for a tornado or two. It could be brief. It could be weak. But more than likely, Prox, your family will be fine from that. It is, after all, a relatively lower end threat, but it is still a severe weather threat, and it's something that we still need to monitor. But yeah, I think main problem for Saturday is going to be just gusty winds. But we'll have more information tomorrow on that. So Proxy, if you wanted to join tomorrow, I don't know. Like I said, we'll go live tomorrow evening at some point, and I'll be able to tell you a lot more about it tomorrow because the Storm Prediction Center, like I mentioned, will actually have the tornado probability percentage, the winds and the hail percentage as well. So we'll be able to look at that. But anyways, folks, well, that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I appreciate ya. Once again, Proxy, thank you so much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys, every single one of y'all, for joining us, hanging out with us tonight. Tomorrow on the table, like I mentioned, what we're going to start doing here on the channel here, we're going to start to do daily videos, and then we're going to do a live stream at the end of every day. So we're going to do one video and one live stream per day. Like I mentioned, there's going to be some days where we do not do streams and there's going to be some days where we don't do streams and videos, because I do need some time off every once in a while. But most of these days coming up here, starting tomorrow, we're going to do videos. Not specific times for any of them, just sometime in the morning, afternoon for the video, and sometime in the evening for the live stream. So we'll keep you guys posted. But all right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining. Much love to you guys. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. Proxy says we'll see you tomorrow. Sounds good, Proxy. Yeah, we'll give you more information on that tomorrow, and I'll be able to kind of let you know more of the exact probabilities. So tomorrow I'll be able to tell you if they're in a tornado percentage or not. Like we mentioned, when we did whenever we did that model breakdown, we saw that, or at least I saw that probably eastern Texas and maybe some of Louisiana does have that tornado potential, while some of the eastern threat does not. But we'll see what the Weather Service puts, and that's who you should really, be keeping up with. And we'll give you guys, we'll relay all that information, of course. That's just my personal input on that, as I do think that portions of Louisiana and eastern Texas will be in that threat. But we'll be able to talk more about it tomorrow. Okay. Alrighty, once again, Proxy, thank you so much for the support. It's greatly appreciated. But thank you, everybody, for joining. You guys have a wonderful rest of your nights. The stream's going to head off here in approximately 2 minutes. So go ahead and say goodbye to your friends, your family, anybody you're hanging out with in the chat. Once again, everybody, I appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. Let's see here. Jazz says, thanks, Mods and Andrew. See y'all next time. Sounds good, Jazz. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Once again, huge shout-out goes to Proxy for the support once again. Thank you so much, Prox. You are amazing. I deeply appreciate it. But all right, everybody, thanks for joining. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Once again, we'll have a video for you guys tomorrow morning, afternoon at some point, and a live stream tomorrow evening for you guys, just to give you guys more updates on the severe weather and the weather ahead of us. But all right, everybody, thanks once again for joining. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, my friends. Catch y'all in the next one. See you later.